Our national leaders like Patel, Rajendra Prasad, Shastri, etc., thought about the nation alone for all 24 hours. They never had the time to think about themselves. Such people are equivalent to gods. They don't require other spiritual efforts like circumambulating the holy hill Arunachala, etc. to attain liberation.
పూర్వం ఇదే విషయం రవీంద్రనాథ్ ఠాగూర్ చెప్పాడు. కులభేదాలు ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి, మత భేదాలు ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి, ప్రాంతీయ భేదాలు ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి, ఏ ఊరిలో పుట్టిన వాళ్ళకి ఆ ఊరే దేశం అనుకున్న వాళ్ళకి మంత్రి పదవులు ఇస్తే దొంగలందరినీ తీసుకొచ్చి పోలీసు ఉద్యోగాలు ఇచ్చినట్టు ఉంటుందన్నాడు. మన భారతీయులు మానసికంగా వికాసం లేదు. మనకు ఏదో అక్కడ గొయ్యి తవ్వించాం, ఇక్కడ రోడ్డు వేయించాం, ఇటువంటి గొడవలు అవుతాను. అసలు మానసిక వికాసం ఉండదు భారతీయులు. ఇది భారతదేశం మనది, ఈ దేశాన్ని మనం బాగు చేసుకోవాలి. ఎక్కడ అవసరమైతే అక్కడ పనులు చేయించాలి. గంగా నది పక్కన నీళ్ళు తవ్వకూడదు, నీళ్ళు ఎక్కడ అవసరమైతే అక్కడ నీళ్ళు తవ్వాలి అనే బుద్ధి ఏ పార్టీకి లేదు. ఇది దేశం బాగుపడే అవకాశాలు లేదు. అంటే మానసికంగా కూడా మనం దేశం ఎంత విశాలంగా ఉందో అంత విశాలంగా మన మనస్సు తయారైతే అప్పుడు ఈ దేశానికి బాగుపడతాం. ముందు దేశం, తర్వాత ఈ పార్టీలు కూడా. జనగణమన అధినాయక జయ హే, జయ హే జయ హే భారత భాగ్య విధాత. జనగణమన అధినాయక జయ హే, జయ హే జయ హే భారత భాగ్య విధాత. తర్వాత రాష్ట్రాల పేరు చెప్పాడు. పంజాబ్, సింధు, మరాఠా, రాష్ట్రాలన్నీ పేరు చెప్పుకొచ్చాడు. కొంతమంది మన ఆంధ్ర పేరు పెట్టలేదండి. ఆంధ్ర అక్కడ ద్రావిడ అంటే ఆంధ్ర, తమిళనాడు, కర్ణాటక, కేరళ 4 రాష్ట్రాలు వచ్చేస్తాయి. పంజాబ్, సింధు, మరాఠా, ఇలా అంగ, వంగ, ఇలా దేశాలు. అంగదేశం అంటే ఒరిస్సా, వంగదేశం అంటే బెంగాల్. మొత్తం రాష్ట్రాల పేర్లు చెప్పాడు. ఆ తర్వాత నదుల పేర్లు చెప్పాడు, పర్వతాల పేర్లు చెప్పాడు. ఇన్ని రాష్ట్రాలు కలిగినటువంటి, ఇన్ని పర్వతాలు కలిగినటువంటి, నదులు కలిగినటువంటి, ఇన్ని సముద్రాలు కలిగినటువంటి భారతదేశమా, నీకు జయమవుగాక.
अच्छा कार्यक्रम गणपती उत्सवाचा आहे. ठरल्याप्रमाणे गायनकार बखलेबा यांचं गायनं सुरुवात झालीच आहे. लोकांनी शांतपणे ऐकावं अशी माझी इच्छा आहे.
Tilak is called the maker of modern India. Chanting the name of Lord Krishna, he attained the title of Lokamanya, that is, the most revered one in the world. However, Tilak was not wholly inclined towards non-violence. Instead, he used to say, "Sword to sword." Gandhiji said, "When I sat beside Tilak, I got the feeling of sitting beside an ocean. I felt as if waves are coming onto me."
Once Tilak's grandson died of cholera at the tender age of 15. Many people in that village died of cholera at that time. When people came to console Tilak, he said, "We collect wooden sticks from every house to light the bogie fire." Similarly, to light the fire of cholera, God collected people from every house. In that process, God also grabbed away my grandson as our contribution towards the same. Tilak spoke thus but did not lament upon the loss of his grandson.
Once, Tilak got information that the British might imprison him at any moment. However, when the British authorities approached Tilak to arrest, they found him deep asleep. Such was the courage of Tilak.
While undergoing imprisonment, Tilak got a letter that his wife had expired. The British authorities told Tilak, "We are willing to permit you to go home, provided you are ready to request a pardon." Tilak said, "Will my wife come back alive even if I go home? There is no point in asking the Britishers to forgive me." Tilak wrote a letter consoling his children. "Don't be distressed with your mother's death and thereby don't neglect your studies. I promise you that after returning from exile, I will take up the role and responsibility of your mother. I will try my best to see that you don't miss your mother."
In jail, Tilak wrote an extensive commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Tilak said, "You can compare my Gita commentary with Hanuman's crossing the ocean. That is, I did not get into the depth of Gita." Tilak's favorite sloka in the Gita: "You only have the right to work and not upon its results. Let not the results of your action be your motive, nor be attached to inaction." Tilak considered this sloka as the very essence of the Gita.
Tilak said, "As four legs support a bed, even the entire Gita is imbibed in the following 4 points. 1. You only have the right to work. 2. You don't have the right to the work result. 3. Don't become the cause for the result of your action, be it good or bad. 4. As you are not responsible for the result of your action, don't adopt inaction."
Once, Swami Vivekananda invited Tilak to Bailur Math. Accordingly, Tilak went to Bailur Math along with his companions. Tilak said, "Swamiji, we are involved in politics. However, your work is everlasting. Why shouldn't we exchange our roles? I will adopt sannyasa, and you take up politics." Swamiji replied, "God allocates a particular work to every person to carry on. Therefore one has to carry on their allotted work. Hence we need not exchange our roles."
Just before Shirdi Sai Baba left his mortal frame, Tilak visited Baba. Baba said, "A new leader is about to come." Tilak left his body shortly after this, and Gandhiji became the leader.
Tilak's slogan: "Even if the sky falls upon me, I will crush it under my feet and march forward towards freedom. Swaraj is my birthright, and I will certainly have it."
स्वराज्य हा माझा जन्मसिद्ध हक्क आहे आणि तो मी मिळवणारच.
Sarojini Naidu described Rajaji as the Madras fox. In one of his speeches, Mr. Nehru said, "Rajaji is not only older but also wiser than me."
Once, Rajaji visited Thirumala before going to the parliament. The communists, who were atheists, tried to tease him by asking, "What was your prayer to Lord Venkateshwara?" Then Rajaji silenced them. "I prayed, may Lord Venkateshwara bestow my communist brothers with good thinking faculty."
The tricky point with Rajaji was that he would perceive what existed within our hearts but never reveal what existed within his heart. Yet, Rajaji could visualize what would happen in the coming 100 years. Rajaji said to one of the ex-ministers, which turned out to be true, "You are craving for a separate Andhra state. But you will not have any political future if a separate state of Andhra emerges.
Once, Rajaji was showing the rooms within his college to Swami Vivekananda. There was a photo of Lord Krishna in one of the rooms. Looking at the same, Swamiji posed this question to Rajaji. Why is Krishna blue in color? Rajaji, a great intellect, replied. Since the sky which is infinite is blue in color, even Lord Krishna is infinite and hence is blue in color. Swamiji blessed Rajaji that he would become one of the important personalities of India in the future.
Rajaji was equivalent to fire, that is, an embodiment of purity. Gandhiji was emotional, but Rajaji wasn't. If anyone criticized him, he would not react. Instead, he would say, "You admit that you have committed a mistake. Then how can I repeat the same?"
Even after becoming Mahatma, Gandhiji got into a situation where he would have swerved from the path of righteousness. Then Kasturba, Gandhiji's wife, secretly wrote a letter to Rajaji, narrating the same. Then Rajaji replied, "We may commit mistakes, but you, as a Mahatma, cannot afford to do the same. The sheep, that is, we, may eat the grass, but the fence, that is, Gandhiji, cannot afford to do the same. Though you may not put your wrong thoughts into action, you are answerable for each of your thought to God. The entire population of India would own up to your mistake, for they completely identify themselves with you. 400 million people implying 800 million eyes adore you as their ideal. Don't forget the same. How can you be called Mahatma if your thoughts are not virtuous?" Then Gandhiji replied, "Rajaji, you are the keeper of my conscience. I did not commit any mistake externally, yet my thinking has been in the wrong direction. Wrong thinking is an indication of my weakness. You restored my mind onto the right path through your good advice."
Once, while delivering a speech, someone from the audience threw a stone at Rajaji and ran away. Rajaji asked the police to catch hold of him but not to punish him. When the police brought the culprit, Rajaji praised him. "You wanted to hit me with a stone and could do it exactly. I appreciate your concentration." Rajaji also gave him a gift as a token of appreciation.
Some surprising incidents regarding Rajaji are incredible. While holding the highest post in the state as a chief minister, he was so particular about the ink he used that he never used it for his personal letters. When he had to write a personal letter, he would use the ink at home. He did not use the government's pen for personal purposes and vice versa.
Once, Rajaji was traveling by train. Just when the train started, one of the co-passengers began shouting that he had lost his precious watch. It was immediately arranged to stop the train. However, the watch was not visible where the train stopped. Rajaji called the co-passenger and told him the exact distance to go back to find his watch. The co-passenger accordingly went and found his watch precisely at the place as hinted by Rajaji.
Once, Kasturba Gandhi visited Chennai. Kasturba wanted to buy a sari, and Rajaji accompanied her. Kasturba was very poor at speaking English. So she asked the shopkeeper, "Color go?" Kasturba intended, "Will the sari lose its color on being washed?" The shopkeeper was clueless about what Kasturba had asked him. So then Rajaji explained to the shopkeeper, "Don't blame that Kasturba is weak in English. Rather consider the language she spoke as Ba English."
Merely conveying good and correct advice will not produce any effect. Just as a good receiving station is necessary for the music or the speech to be heard, a further good and sensitive receiving station in the human personality of the listener is necessary to convert what is heard into good human activities.
Once, when Acharya Vinoba Bhave was teaching Bhagavad Gita to the son of Jamanlal Bajaj, he received a letter from Gandhiji which stated, "I have not seen any other Mahatma greater than you in the country." After reading it, Acharya Vinoba Bhave immediately tore the letter and threw it in a dustbin. Then, the son of Jamanlal Bajaj asked Acharya Vinoba, "Why did you tear the letter that you received from Gandhiji, who is adored by the entire nation?" Then Acharya Vinoba replied, "If I preserve the letter, there is a chance that my ego may increase whenever I read it again and again. However, I just tore the letter from Gandhiji, but I would never forget his love for me."
इस वास्ते उनका इंग्लिश वाक्य आपके सामने रखूंगा जो मेरे लिए हो गया मंत्र। नेशंस डिके व्हेन दे लूज कांटेक्ट विथ नेचर। जिन राष्ट्रों का स्पर्श रहा नहीं आसपास की कुदरत के साथ, वो नेशंस क्षीण होते हैं।
Shastri Ji was the epitome of honesty and simplicity.
Shastri Ji relished eating potato curry. He would eat it even if served daily. Despite being the Prime Minister of India, he would instruct not to cook the potato curry if there is a rise in the potato price.
When Shastri Ji served as the railway minister, he never traveled in an air-conditioned compartment. He felt that as an ordinary man can't afford to travel in an air-conditioned compartment, he should not enjoy this privilege.
Shastri Ji held several significant portfolios in the cabinet, like Railway Minister, Home Minister and Prime Minister. However, after Shastri Ji's death, his wife did not have food to eat. So the government of India provided her pension and a house to live in, as it would be a disgrace to the nation if she remained houseless and penniless.
In the last moments of Shastri Ji, the doctors told him, "We regret that we are unable to help you." But Shastri Ji disregarded those words and prayed thus, "Oh, Sri Rama, take me into your lap, dear father." He remembered this prayer during the last moments of his life only due to his selfless service to the nation.
ये जो स्वराज्य आया है उसे हम मजबूती से अपने पास रखेंगे ताकि कोई दूसरा हमारी तरफ टेढ़ी नज़र भी उठाकर देखे तो हम उसका पूरी तरह से मुकाबला कर सकें। दो नारे मैं समझता हूँ कि आज हमारे देश के लिए ज़रूरी है, एक जय जवान और एक जय किसान, और फिर उसी से सारे देश का एक जय हिंद का नारा लगता है। तो मैं ये तीन नारे आपके सामने कहता हूँ, आपसे आशा करूँगा कि आप उसे दोहराएंगे। एक तो जय जवान, जय जवान, जय जवान, जय किसान, जय किसान, जय किसान, जय हिंद, जय हिंद, जय हिंद।
Rajendra Prasad was appointed as the first President of India with a salary of 10,000 rupees. He immediately wrote to the government of India, 5,000 rupees is enough for my sustenance. But unfortunately, his wife passed away after a while. So then he again wrote to the government of India, 3,000 rupees is sufficient for my survival. Such was his honesty.
Gandhiji said, Patel, Nehru etc. do love me, but it is only Rajendra Prasad who abides by my will without questioning back. Even if I give him poison to drink, he will consume it without any second thought. Such as his unconditional surrender.
When Rajendra Prasad visited Bhagavan Ramana, he sat in a corner and did not talk to Bhagavan. However, at the time of departure from Ramanashram, Rajendra Prasad asked Bhagavan, "Is there any message from Bhagavan to be delivered to Gandhiji?" Bhagavan replied, "When a heart communicates with a heart in silence, what is the need for words? It is the same power that exists here that also drives Gandhiji."
मूल में सर्व धर्म एक रूप है और सबका एक ही ध्येय और मकसद है। वो है मानव की आत्मा का पूर्ण विकास, जिससे वो सच्ची शांति अथवा मोक्ष अथवा निर्वाण प्राप्त कर सके।
Nizam Nawab refused to merge the Hyderabad state into India. He said, "We will never merge Hyderabad into India. Anyone who dares to enter Hyderabad will be met with a sword." Patel replied, "If you use swords against us, we will not come there to receive your blows. Your swords will be refuted by swords and not by people's heads. Sword will be met by sword." Had Patel not existed or died before the resolution of the Hyderabad issue, it would have become mandatory for every Indian to take a visa to visit Hyderabad, similar to a visa needed for an Indian to visit America.
Gandhiji asked, "Patel, you should grant me a boon. You must not contest for the prime ministerial post as 80% of the people would vote in your favor. Nehru is not willing to enter the cabinet if he is not offered the prime minister post. Therefore become deputy prime minister." Patel said, "I am neither interested in becoming a prime minister nor a deputy prime minister. So I don't need any post."
Sri Nanagaru said, "Among the political leaders, I love Rajendra Prasad and Sardar Patel very much. Both of them talked less and worked more. Both of them were devotees. One could recognize the devotion of Rajendra Prasad. However, Patel's devotion is secretive. He possessed devotion in the depths of his heart. The Somnath temple in Gujarat got destroyed during a war in the past. After attaining freedom, it was Patel who collected donations and got the temple renovated. Both worked practically during the freedom fight and served the nation accordingly."
उसने ऐलान किया कि इधर पैरामाउंट से खत्म होती है। उस समय पर मुल्क में क्या होगा और मुल्क एक रहेगा या तो उसका टुकड़ा टुकड़ा हो जाएगा, उस बारे में बहुत लोगों का अलग अलग ख्याल था और बहुत लोग चिंता में गिरे थे। लेकिन जो राजा महाराजाओं थे उसमें से बहुतों ने काफी स्वदेशाभिमान बताया और भारत की सरकार को साथ दिया। उसके लिए मैं आज इन लोगों को धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं और मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि उनकी मदद से आज मुल्क में जो एकता हुई है वो सैकड़ों साल पहले कभी नहीं थी।
Only two people can be referred to as leaders in our freedom fight. They are Mahatma Gandhi and Subhash Chandra Bose. Nehru, Patel, etc. were merely followers of Gandhiji. But Subhash Chandra Bose was a leader. Though Gandhiji and Subhash Chandra Bose differed in their views, they fearlessly followed whatever they believed. Gandhiji was a devotee. Everyone was aware of it. However, Subhash Chandra Bose possessed secret devotion. He carried a small book of Gita with him and read the same whenever he was alone. He never revealed his devotion.
Once Subhash Chandra Bose was asked to inaugurate a book of Swami Vivekananda. Bose said on this occasion, "When I am not even eligible to sit at his feet, what can I speak about Swamiji?"
The airplane in which Subhash Chandra Bose was traveling crashed, and Bose's body was half burned, bringing him near death. Subhash Chandra Bose maintained his composure even in such a situation, and no tears came to his eyes. Finally, someone asked him, "Don't you feel any pain? How are you able to maintain your composure?" Subhash Chandra Bose replied, "Many lakhs of people trusted me and sacrificed their lives for the sake of nation. I will insult all their sacrifices if I cry out of pain now."
Only when the blood of freedom-loving Indians begins to flow will India attain her freedom. Inqilab Zindabad. Azad Hind Zindabad.
Sri Aurobindo Ghosh was a great patriot who transformed into a great spiritual guru after being exiled during the freedom fight. Incidentally, India attained independence on his birthday, that is, the 15th of August in 1947.
Sri Aurobindo said in Savitri, "You may possess any number of good qualities, but you cannot survive or progress if you don't possess courage and love."
Even a person who incurred 1,000 mistakes may progress spiritually but not a selfish man.
It is the darkest nights that prepare the greatest dawns.
The importance and glory of a person can never be measured by his external activities.
Sri Aurobindo defined a realized soul thus: for him, the calm, the light, the power, the bliss, the freedom, the heights of knowledge and the seas of Ananda.
Your heart is widened through patriotism. Patriotism leads you towards universalism. A quote from Sadhguru Sri Nanagaru's speech.
Vande Mataram, 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 Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram, 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 Vande Mataram. Sujalam Sufalam Malayajishikalam Tasya Shamalam Mataram Vande. Sujalam Sufalam Malayajishikalam Tasya Shamalam Mataram Vande. Mataram. वन्दे मातरं 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 वन्दे मातरं
शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी पुल्लकुसुमिता द्रुमदलशोभिनी शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी पुल्लकुसुमिता द्रुमदलशोभिनी सुहासिनीं सुमधुरभासिनीं सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे 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 मातरं सप्तकोटि कंठ कलकल निनाद करले ते सप्तकोटि भुजैदित खर कर वाली सप्तकोटि कंठ कलकल निनाद करले ते सप्तकोटि भुजैदित खर कर वाली अवला के नो माय तू बोले बहु बल धरणी नमामि तरिणी रिपुदल वारिणी
मातरं वन्दे वन्दे मातरं 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 वन्दे
दुर्गा दश प्राण धारिणी कमला कमला दल बिहारिणी वाणी विद्या नमामि कमलम् अमलम् अतुलं सुजलं सुफलं मातरं
श्यामलं सरलं सुष्मितां भूषितं धरणीं भरणीं मातरं वन्दे 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 मातरं माँ तुझे